All right, guys. This right here is 3 bags of potatoes that I bought from Publix. They're just regular red potatoes, 3 5-pound bags. And I was hoping that some of these would sprout. And it looks like almost all of them sprouted little chits right here. So I was going to use some of these to make some mashed potatoes for our Christmas lunch. But it's going to be really hard for me not to want to plant all of these because some of them have so many little starts right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the ones that have like the most little chits on them. And then I'm going to put them in a little paper bag so they'll finish growing here. I have a little paper bag right here. I forgot to get a big one, but I think I can fit what I need in this bag. So what I'm going to do is just pick out some of the ones that have some really nice big ones. And I'm going to put those in a paper bag. And then what I'm going to do is they will start growing, like they'll get bigger and longer, and this is where your potato plant will come from. So what I'll do is, it's called chitting them. I have another one, some right here, that I did of russet potatoes. And what I did was you chit them and you just cut off the parts that have sprouted like this. So I use the other part of these potatoes and I made mashed potatoes with them. And then I can plant these pretty soon. So see how they're starting to grow here. This will be a plant. And that's what these will look like eventually, like they'll get bigger like that. So what I'll do is I'll plant, these are russet potatoes that my mother-in-law gave me. She had bought and they started to sprout. So she gave them to me to use. So I cut off all of the ones that had the chits on them. And you just let them sit here like this so they can get hardened. So they won't just rot in your ground. So you have to let them dry out. These are just about ready. I'll probably plant those this coming week. So then when I plant these, I'll put the red potatoes and chit them. And then you can use the part that you cut off and eat it. You know, roasted potatoes or mashed potatoes or however you like to cook your potatoes. So I'm going to do that with these. And then the ones that I don't keep, I'll go ahead and make mashed potatoes with. I can just peel all of these growths off. But I thought I'd show you the beginning part of what you do. You can buy just potatoes from the grocery store. I know this variety here will grow well in this area. So I'll just get the ones that are smaller potatoes, and then I can like cut it right here and have all of these chits on one side, and then I can eat this part eventually. So that one's good, they all right there. Yeah, so all the potatoes I want will fit in this little bag. And sometimes you can get one on each end like this, so you can make this into 3 plants. You can cut this chunk off, and this chunk off. And then I'll show you in another video when it's time to plant them how to do that. All right, I think that's probably good, and I'll make all these into mashed potatoes for Christmas. All right, guys, today I'm ready to plant my russet potatoes that I had chitted and growing into the kitchen. I'm in my pasture at one of my compost piles. I kind of just pile all this up here, and then we usually use this to spread in the pasture just as natural fertilizer, and then we just spread that out. So, but today there's some good dirt. I got some Nosy, my horse Autumn, and my donkey Ollie. They like to see what's going on. So I have just some regular dirt right here that's not really compost, but it's nice and loose. Potatoes don't like a very rich soil, so I'm going to use a little bit of this older horse poop. This doesn't have like eggshells or anything like that in here. So what I'm going to do is use maybe a little bit of topsoil, some of my potting soil to go over top with a little bit extra fertilizer, but they don't like it too rich. So I'm going to fill these 4 little plastic buckets. I don't know what they are, maybe 10-gallon ones. They're my little one, smaller ones that I have, not like little ones, I guess medium. I have some really large ones I'm going to save for my red potatoes because I want more of those. So I'll I'll just put a layer, maybe 4 or 5 inches of dirt and compost manure in the bottom here. And then I'll take them over to my garden and I'll bring you back when I have some dirt in them. All right, so I divided up my seed potato sprouts pieces into 4 little piles, so I can kind of guesstimate how much to put into each bucket. Based on the growing I did last year, they don't need a ton of space in between because they're really not going to grow huge potatoes here where I live in Central Florida. So I did make sure all of my dirt and compost was ant-free. Remember last time when I had my harvest and potato video, they were filled with fire ants. So I put these 4 in here, and I left space for my 3 really big containers there for the red potatoes. So I took a little bit off the top in here. I decided not to do the potting soil on top. I think this is rich enough with the horse manure and hay mixture. So what I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and pick one up, and you want to make sure that the chits are facing up and just give them a little bit of distance in between. Just like that. And so each of these should give me a new potato plant, and then they'll grow potatoes up and around it. So what I'll do is I'll take this and put it right on top. Just until it's covered, and then just kind of move it all around to cover your potatoes. And I loosened up the soil pretty good. I mixed it all together with the end of my rake, and so it was nice and loose before I put those in. And then just put it in and just make it nice and level, just pat it gently. And now we're gonna water these, and I'm gonna redo the same thing with those 3 and water them in, and then we just wait for them to grow. All right, I got them all filled and ready to go. All I got left to do was water them in, and as they grow, once the stems get about yay big or a little bigger, you can start adding more soil in around the plant, and that will encourage more potatoes to grow all the way up through the bucket. So eventually the dirt will be filled all the way to the top, and then the plants will keep going until the plants turn yellow and die. Then you wait 2 weeks after the plants die fully, and then they're ready to harvest. All right, let's go inside and I'll show you how to chip my red potatoes. They're ready next. Okay guys, so I have my big bag here full of all of my potatoes that have sprouted. I don't think I need to plant all of these. There's quite a few from those bags that have sprouted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the ones that have the most sprouts and the ones that have like actual green little plants on the tip. And I'm going to use those. So what I did with the russet potatoes, I think I put about 7 chits in each bucket. And I have bigger buckets for the red potatoes to go in. So I'm thinking maybe 10. And I have 3 of those. So I need about 30 pieces to plant. So what you want to do is find a good place on your potato. Like I'm going to keep all of these together because they're pretty close. So I'm just going to cut it right there and keep all of those on one spot. If you leave like a big chunk of potato, you have a higher risk of it just rotting and it won't grow. And then what I'm going to do is place it with the chits down. So this will all get air. And what it will do is it will all harden over and kind of heal itself. And if you were to put this in the ground right now, it would probably rot. But once you let it seal itself off and become hard and kind of like a whitish color, almost like mold, and then that's when it will be ready to plant. So I'm going to try to get about 30 of these, and then I'll just eat whatever potatoes are left. So some of these have some really nice ones going, but I mean, I can eat this whole rest of this potato here. So I can cut these chits off, and then this is what I can eat here. And then I have all of this that will grow a new plant. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick out which ones I want here, and then I'll show you how many I get when I finish. Okay, so I finished, and I got my 30 chits ready to go, and I did make sure that I had more than one on each piece since I had quite a few to choose from. So I just chose the ones that had at least 2 close by each other. So those will each grow a new plant, which will give me a better yield, hopefully, in my potatoes. So this is what I have left that I chopped up. So I'll roast these most likely, or chop them up and fry them in the air fryer, which is how I like them, because then you can have them for like breakfast potatoes too. So, and then I had 5 little ones that I decided not to cut. I'll save those for another time. They'll last a little while longer, and I'll eat those. So I'll probably cook these up, maybe throw some in the freezer for another day. I need to do it soon before they start turning colors. You know, once you cut a potato, they change colors pretty fast. So I'm gonna get these all washed up and in the pot, and they'll go with our dinner of leftovers tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you learned a little something, and I hope that you try planting your own potatoes. Just go to the grocery store, get a little bucket from Lowe's or something, and you can grow them, you know, on your back patio. If you have an apartment, you know, just put them on your porch or whatever you have. Super easy to do and low maintenance. So if you like this video and you'd like to be notified when I make more videos, please subscribe and like this video. Thanks, guys.